Back here on Goal Zone, we look ahead to tomorrow. You see the games that we have highlighted for you here. A couple on NBC, USA, ending the day, Aston Villa versus Everton over on NBC, 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. So that's all coming up tomorrow. 3 more games on Sunday. But let's focus on tomorrow. Let's focus first on that Wolves-Brentford one, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. First top-flight meeting between these two clubs in nearly 75 years. So this will be cool to watch. And I think, Robbie, the expectations for both these clubs were not that high, but I think they've looked okay.
Yeah, well, of course, Brentford new to the Premier League. Thomas Frank, the manager, has got tons of personality. He's doing things very differently with the way that they recruit, the way that they coach. They've done really well to start with. And I'm particularly interested in Wolves. Bruno Lage is the new manager, had big success at Benfica, and Wolves have played good football, created a ton of shots, lots of chances, haven't scored until the last game. First victory against Watford, needed that badly, and I think this is it's a sneaky good watch tomorrow.
Well, I do like Wolves under Bruno Lage. They've been in the Premier League under Nuno, and they've just been very, very cautious. He's a very attack-minded manager. Love the fact that Traore seems to have a new lease on life under him in the attack. He's been brilliant. My one concern, as we know, is Jimenez. That he had a horrific head injury, and he just doesn't look himself, which is justifiable and understandable. So I'm hoping he's able to get back up to speed and get back to his old self.
Seems like the identity for so long was Nuno. That was the identity, kind of a rebirth for Wolves here on who they will be. All right, so that's the lone 7:30 a.m. game. We got 4 games coming up, 10 a.m. Eastern, including Burnley versus Arsenal. Robbie, Arsenal off the schneid, got the win against Norwich. Is that a sigh of relief, or is it right back to it against Burnley? If they don't perform there, the pressure's still on.
Well, Mikel Arteta's talked about his best 10 days in his career leading up to that victory. So important for them. And also important that the team starting to look like the new Mikel Arteta Arsenal. Goalkeepers different, defenders are different, people are playing in their correct spot. So it's starting to look like a better Arsenal side. Now I think, Tim, we can start to judge what they're doing. Just quickly on Burnley, I mean, we know how Burnley play.
Yeah.
This is a test of the athletic, the strong, the aggressive players against maybe weaker Arsenal.
Well, look, Pepe, Saka, Aubameyang, Odegaard, Smith Rowe, they should dust them right off the park. We know that's not going to happen. They're going to go to Turf Moor. Sean Dyche knows exactly how this game's going to go. We're going to get in their face. We're going to try and beat them up. We know they can't handle the physicality. And if that wins out, Burnley should do really well. But on the footballing side, Arsenal is a class above. So we'll see which one is the winner tomorrow.
Sean Dyche signing a new deal this week. He'll want to celebrate with perhaps Burnley's first win on this season. Also at 10 o'clock, we got Manchester City versus Southampton. Tim, Manchester City, they've won 3 straight games in the league by an aggregate score of 11-0, and still somehow maybe flying a little bit under the radar.
A little bit, but that's because they set the standard so high. It won't be any different against Southampton. I think there'll be a lot of goals in the game. The way you saw the way they were midweek in the Champions League, they can literally score at will. And again, they've set that standard so high that when you talk about flying under the radar, they have to do something incredible in order for us to talk about it, because they are such a special unit.
And I wonder how many people are going to turn up at the stadium, because Pep was criticised. It didn't go down very well, Ahmed, talking about, listen, we need everybody to come and show their support at Southampton at the weekend. And the head of the fan group said, well, we're trying our best. It's kind of different. Man City is different to Manchester United. Sure. It's local people. It's more expensive to them to go every single week with the Champions League. So interesting. Then, and the story's kind of growing legs a little bit with the media. So that's interesting to kind of watch on this one.
You're right. When you win so often, the story sometimes has to be something else, and you don't want it if you're Pep Guardiola to be that. So the final game tomorrow is going to be over on 12:30 on NBC. That is Aston Villa versus Everton. Everton, we saw them here on Monday. Robbie, 3 goals in just over 6 minutes. That was a very, very good 6 minutes for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's, again, a fascinating matchup with Villa that played well in their last game but got hammered, and Everton, it didn't play well, that ended up finishing really strongly. 2 teams in terms of expectations, Tim, that want to push on now. Villa have spent some money, have just stumbled a little bit early on, and Everton with a manager that in some ways is not popular, but they kind of look all right. They look okay, very solid, very well organised, simplified the game a little bit, and they've had a good start.
Well, yeah, look, everyone kind of thought under Rafa it would take a while because he is a bit of a cautious manager. We've not seen that from this team. We've seen goals, we've seen wins. If they win tomorrow, they're on, be on 13 points and right up at the top of the table. They started well last season too, right? So this ability to sustain that, stay away from injuries, use squad depth, which I don't think they have a ton of. And I do like Villa. I like Ings and Ollie Watkins. We haven't seen them together too often, but I do think that will pay dividends.
You worried about Aston Villa at all?
No, I'm not. Liam Bailey is a new player they brought in who looks electric. We've seen him come off the bench, Tim. He looks really, really quick, a player to add in. But I know what you mean. It's not, you expect him to kick on. The signings were good on the back of the money from Jack Grealish, but I think they'll get better as the season goes on.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch highlights all season long, and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend at 7 a.m. Eastern. And for even more content, head over to Peacock, where we've got live games, original series and a dedicated round-the-clock Premier League channel featuring studio shows, classic matches and much more.